Countdown.
Tahniah! Siaran langsung ini dibawakan khas kepada anda oleh Akademi YouTuber Malaysia. Sebuah inisiatif e-didik Malaysia dan Kelab Guru Malaysia. Tumpukan perhatian anda. Siaran langsung akan bermula sebentar lagi. Link sijil akan diberikan di hujung siaran ini. Pastikan diisi dalam tempoh yang ditetapkan. Terima kasih.
Unmute yourself. You're on mute.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good evening and hi to all the teachers, parents, and wonderful students. Welcome to Pusat Tuisyen Academy YouTuber, a joint venture with e-didik Malaysia and Kelab Guru Malaysia. Bermula percuma, selamanya bercuma. So before we proceed, let us begin our session with a recitation of Al-Kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Okay, how is everyone doing today? I hope all of you are in the best of health and ready for today's lesson. And I hope it's still not too late to wish every one of you here a very happy New Year 2021. May this New Year 2021 be a better year for all of us. As all of you can see, I'm all alone here executing my tasks as the moderator, presenter, control host, and observer. But I am very fortunate to have all of you here accompanying me this afternoon. So please give your support and your full cooperation in making this session a lively one. As usual, the lesson will last approximately for 1 hour. And the certificate link will be given at the end of this session. So be sure to follow this class up until the end. For the record, we are now live on my channel, that is Cikgu Zana's channel. So if you have not subscribed, or if the subscribe button is still red, go ahead, press subscribe, it's free. And like as a sign of support to Cikgu Zana. I would also like to remind all of you to use appropriate language and profile pic if you wish to post comment in the chat box. I'm pretty sure all of you here are obedient, excellent students who will uphold a positive classroom environment. So students, stay focused. And if you have any questions, please write on the chat box and I will try to provide you with the answer. So shall we start? Okay, let me introduce myself briefly. I'm Puan Zainariah Abdullah, my full name. I'm from Pusat Tingkatan 6, SMK Tunku Ampuan Durrah, Seremban in Negeri Sembilan. I have 30 years of teaching experience. I have taught additional mathematics since 1990 to 2013 and Form 6 from year 2000 and the present year. Okay, here are my teammates, the mathematics teammates. Okay, we have teacher Im, our leader for mathematics. And then we have the biology teachers head by Cikgu Faiza. And we have the chemistry teachers head by Cikgu Shannon. Physics is coming soon. And we have the account head by Madam Fizi. Okay, and here, students, if you want more video lessons, please click the URL There are about 248 videos comprising of mathematics, chemistry, biology, physics, and account lesson. So all of you are most welcome to watch the lesson. May it be beneficial for all of us. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's start our lesson. So for today's lesson, we are going to do a revision on data description. And at the end of the lesson, I hope that all of you are able to solve all the problems on data description. And my prayer is too that all of you will score A in your maths paper. Now, data description is one of the easiest topic to score. So that's why teacher will have to ensure that all of you here will get full marks for questions on data description. Okay. Right. After analyzing the past year question, be it mathematics M or mathematics B, I observed that the concept on the shape of data distribution is frequently asked, but it revolves around the skill of data representation, measures of location, which is mode, median, mean, and measures of dispersion in order for you to answer the question on shape of data distribution. So the modus operandi or the running of today's lesson is we will be doing some past year questions together. Together we'll be doing. And while solving, teacher will help to emphasize or recall the important concepts that must be applied. Okay? Right. Can we start now? So let's start with an easy question first. Here we have a set of data that has a mean of 83.7, median 69.3, and a standard deviation 22.5. Okay, we are required to calculate the Pearson coefficient of skewness and comment on the skewness of the distribution. Sketch the distribution and indicate the mean and median. Okay, before answering, let me help to recall the formula for Pearson coefficient of skewness. Okay, class, we have two formulas. One is mean minus mode divided by standard deviation. Okay, and we have 3 times in brackets mean minus median divided by the standard deviation. Okay, and since the question is giving us the value of mean, median, and standard deviation, so we use the second formula. Okay, and please take note, class, this formula is not listed in the question, in the list of mathematical formula in the question paper. So you have to memorize this formula. So the Pearson coefficient of skewness is obtained by substituting the values of mean, 83.7, median, 69.3, and you divide by the standard deviation, you have a positive value, 1.92. Now, what does this indicate? The value 1.92. Since the value is positive, okay, so make sure you understand this symbol greater than 0 means positive. So distribution is positively skewed. Okay, and if the value is negative, distribution is negatively skewed. If the value is 0, distribution is symmetrical. So please memorize this concept, student. It's easy to remember. Okay, and for answering the question, especially in mathematics M, when you give your answer, you must state the reason. So the reason is that the value is greater than 0. Okay, you cannot write just by writing distribution is positively skewed. Why? Because the value is positive. Okay, you must state the reason. Okay, now before we look at part B, let us recall back on the shape of distribution by referring to the frequency curve. Okay, now you look at this frequency curve, notice that the mode and the median and the mean lies in the center of the curve. So this distribution is symmetrical. Or we can say that mean minus mode is 0. So to remembering the concept, okay, my point of reference is always the mode. Okay, here my mode is always in the middle. Mode is the highest value on the curve. Okay, the highest value on the curve here. So this is your mode. That is your point of reference. Since the mean is always is the right on the mode, then it is positively skewed. Okay, or skewed to the right because the mean is on the right, so it's positive skewed distribution. Hence, mean minus mode is greater than 0. The median always lies in the middle between mode and median. So this is how we memorize the shape of the curve when looking for shape of distribution. Okay, this is the shape for a negatively skewed distribution. See, look at our point of reference, the mode. The mean is on the left of the mode. Left, so it's skewed to the left. Or you can use the value mean minus mode is less than 0. Okay, this is a tip for us to remember the concept or the shape of the graph of distribution easily related to mean, mode, and median. Okay, this is just properties of the curve, which you can read later. But take note, mode is always the maximum value of the curve. Median lies in between mean and mode. And mean is the center of gravity of the distribution. Okay, right. So now we can sketch the distribution and indicate the mean and median. So since we said that it is positively skewed, okay, always draw the mode first. The mode is the highest value on the curve. That is our point of reference. So the mean must be on the right side of the mode. But since the values are given, so it's easy for you to indicate. Okay, median must always be in between mode and mean. So just imagine how easy for you to score marks for data description. So make sure you must get full marks for number 1. Okay, next question. Okay, here we are given a group data. So how do I know it's a group data? You notice that the data are arranged in class intervals. So when you see data arranged in class intervals, they are called group data. Okay, so you are required to calculate to the nearest kilometer. Okay, take note of this. Okay, most students will tend to miss the instruction nearest kilometer, the median semi-interquartile range of the distance traveled. See what I meant? Okay, they will ask about the median semi-interquartile and then give a reason why, give a reason why the median and semi-interquartile range might be appropriate summary measures for this data than that of the mean and standard deviation. Okay, so we have 6 marks, 1 mark, so altogether 7 marks for such an easy question. Okay, right. So since this is a group data, okay, let's see how are we going to solve. So first step, you must find the cumulative frequency of the distribution. Sorry. Okay. So remember how to calculate the cumulative frequency. Okay, we start with 4. 4 plus 22, the sum of 4 with 22 is 26. So 26 plus 18 is 44. 44 plus 6 is 50. So we know that the sum of the frequency is 50. There are 50 cars, okay, in the distribution. So to find the median, okay, we must see which median class does our median lies. So we need to find which value is the median. So median is the 50%, okay, or half of the sum of frequency, which is the 25th value. Okay, notice that the 25th value lies in this cumulative frequency. Thus, the class interval is 20,000 to 21,000. Okay, so it's very important that you get the median class correctly. And we're going to use this formula, the K percentile, for group data. So please take note the difference between group and ungrouped data. Okay, and you are lucky because this formula is given in the question paper. But still, you must know all the symbol, what does it means, okay? Some students, they can memorize the formula, but they are not sure what does the symbol mean. Okay, let's look. So median, LK means the lower boundary of the median class. The lower boundary is 20,000. 50% is 1/2 of n. N so happen is 50. Minus the cumulative frequency before the median class, which is 4, divided by with the frequency of the median class, 22. 1,000 is the class size. So make sure you know how to calculate the class size. 21,000 minus 22, sorry, 21,000 minus 20,000, which gives you 1,000. Okay, you press the calculator, just pressing the calculator, you have 20,955 kilometers. Similarly, for Q1, we identify first where does the Q1 lies. Okay, again, Q1 is roughly the 13th value. The 13th value lies in this cumulative frequency. So the Q1 class is still the same, 20,000 to 21,000. Okay, 20,000 to 21,000. Okay, now, so substitute into the formula. But this time, the lower boundary is still 20,000, but here, 25% is 1/4n, okay? Minus the cumulative frequency before the class, Q1 class, divided by the frequency of the Q1 class. Okay, it so happen we have even class size 1,000. So calculating, you have 20,386.4 kilometer. Okay, tip. Do not run off your values yet. Okay, although the question says run off to the nearest kilometer, but you are not allowed to run off. Only the final answer you can run off. So Q3, apply the same process. Okay, how do I get Q3? Q3 is the 38, roughly the 38 value. Okay, 38 value lies in this cumulative frequency. So this is the class interval of Q3. Substitute, lower boundary, 21,000. 75% is 3/4 of n minus the cumulative frequency before it, divide with the frequency of the Q3 class times the class size 1,000, and you have 21,638.9 kilometer. So the semi-interquartile is the average of the interquartile. Okay? It's the average of the interquartile. So after subtracting and dividing, you have 626.25. Only the final answer you run off to the nearest kilometer. So we have 626 kilometer. Okay, what happened if you do not run off? Okay, you will lose 1 mark because in Form 6, they are very strict. You have to follow the instruction of the question. You have to follow. Okay, next. Okay, part B. Part B, the question asks, give a reason why the median and semi-interquartile might be appropriate summary measures for this data. Okay, so we observe back the distribution. Okay, see whether there is any extreme values in the distribution. So what do you think? Is there any extreme values in the distribution? Any answer? Is there any extreme values in the distribution? If you look at the last class intervals, it indicates that there are extreme values because x greater equal 22,000. We don't know how many more than 20,000. Okay, so there exists extreme values. When exists extreme values, okay, median is more appropriate as the measures of central tendency, while semi-interquartile for the measures of dispersion. Okay, give a reason. Okay, the reason is that these measures are not affected by the extreme values or outlier. Okay, okay. So remember, this is just 1 mark question. 1 mark question. So you don't have to write lengthy reason. only one reason. The reason is it's not affected by the extreme values. Okay. So here I'll be sharing you some notes when to use median, when to use interquartile, when to use mean, when to use standard deviation. So we use median for distribution which are skewed, be it positive or negative skewed, as the measures of location. Sometimes they kata measures of central tendency. And we use the interquartile range for measures of dispersion, okay, for skewed distribution. And then for symmetrical distribution, we use mean for the measures of location and standard deviation for the measures of dispersion. Hopefully you understand what is measures of location, localized around the mean. Measures of dispersion is measuring the spread of the data. Okay, so just remember this. Any skewed distribution, we always use median for measures of location and interquartile for measures of dispersion. Why? They are not sensitive to outliers. Okay, they are not sensitive. So kalau if they are insensitive, that's why we cannot use standard deviation and mean, because they are sensitive to outliers. Okay, right. So far, no question, right? Okay. Question 3. So by now, you can see the pattern of the question asked in the exam. Okay. They would normally ask to find the median, the interquartile, or the mean, or the standard deviation, or the variance. Then draw a data representation. It can be stem plot, it can be histogram, it can be box plot, or cumulative frequency curve. So that's how they revolves the question, yeah? So this is ungrouped data, and we need to find the median and interquartile range, okay? And then determine the outliers if necessary, and then draw. Okay, the instruction is on the graph paper provided. So you must use the graph paper, a box and whisker plot to represent the data. So do not ask me, what happened if I don't use the graph paper? Straight away, 0 mark. Yeah, walaupun your box plot, although your box plot is correctly drawn, 0 marks. That's how cruel is the examiners. So follow instructions. Okay, next. Okay, since this is ungrouped, okay, so in order to find the quartiles, okay, yeah, betul. Yes, you are correct, Muhammad Syafiq. Since this is ungrouped, okay, this is ungrouped data. You are correct, Muhammad Syafiq. You have to rearrange the data in ascending order. Well done. Okay, so you have done your revision. Okay, right. So now we rearrange our data. I have arranged it for you. Okay, and then the formula for the K percentile is not the same as the group data. Okay, this have been shown earlier in stem and leaf diagram. Okay, so for the median, okay, it's 50%. 50% is 1/2 and your n is 21. So notice that 10.5 is not an integer. So we have to use the second formula. Okay, the second formula. Okay, we use the value of the upper ceiling of R. So the upper ceiling of 10.5 is 11. So the median is the 11 observation, which is 70 trees. Okay. Next, to find the quartiles. So the first quartile is 25%. 25% is 1/4n. So you have 5.25. Again, we use the second formula. So the first quartile is the 6th observation, 45 trees. And lastly, the third quartile is the 75%. So 75% is 3 over 4n. We have 15.75. Again, we use the second formula. So the third quartile is the 16 observation, the 81 trees. Okay. So the interquartile range, the third quartile minus the first quartile, we have 36 trees. Okay, straightforward, easily to obtain 4 marks. Tak susah kan? Not difficult to get 4 marks. Okay, now to draw the box plot. Sorry, outliers first. Okay, how to determine the outliers? Anybody can remember the formula? Okay, we need to find the lower fence or upper fence to determine the outliers, sometimes known as the lower boundary or the upper boundary. Okay? So the lower boundary, the formula to be used is the first quartile minus 1.5, the interquartile range. So we have -9. Okay. There is the lower boundary formula. Again, this formula is not given, so you have to memorize and make sure you know how to use it. So the upper boundary is the third quartile plus 1.5, the interquartile range. So we have 81 plus 1.5 times 36. Okay. So we have 135. Okay, now, so we look at the data again. Okay. So we know that values that outside the boundaries or outside the fence are called outliers. Okay. Boundaries, values outside the fence or boundaries are called outliers. So we look here. Our fence is -9 to 135. So we have 2 data which is outside the fence, which is 137, 137 and 140. Okay. So from the word outliers, meaning they lie outside the boundary, is 137, 140. Okay. This is just 2 marks. Sad to say this is just 2 marks. Okay. Right. Here are some steps how to construct the box plot. Okay, again, the first step we have done, we arrange the data in order of magnitude and obtain the 5 values, Q1, Q2, Q3, the smallest value and the largest value in the boundary, okay? And then all we need to do is draw the horizontal axis and mark the location of these 5 values. Draw a box that starts from the first quartile and ends with the third quartile. Subsequently, we draw a vertical line through the median, which is the second quartile, and we draw the whiskers. The whiskers is the horizontal line from the box to the biggest value, from the box to the smallest value. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have listed down here all the 5 values needed to draw the box plot. Okay, you identify. We have Q1, Q2, Q3, smallest value 40, largest value within the boundary is 108. It's very important. But here we add 2 more values, the outliers. Okay, now the first step is to draw the vertical line. And please do not forget to label the axis number of trees. Just imagine if you forget to write down or label the axis, you lose 1 marks. Okay? Because we are presenting the data, so it must be clearly presented. We are talking about number of trees planted. Okay? So we must know what it's presenting. So now we draw a box. That's why it's called a box plot. Okay? In the middle is Q2, 70 trees. And then Q1, 45. We do not have to write Q1. just indicate the value 45, 81, Q3. Okay, next we draw the whiskers. Okay, from the box to the largest value, which is 108, from the box to the smallest value, which is 40. And please do not forget your outlier, 137 and 140. Okay, again, another tip. Your outliers we must use crosses, not dots, okay, to represent the outlier. Okay, you have to be very precise where is 137, 140. Okay, so this is how we create a box plot. Right, before we start for advertisement, can any one of you answer this? State with a reason a measure that best describes the central tendency for the data. Anyone? Give you about 5 seconds. It's just one word answer. It's all right. It doesn't matter whether you answer it wrongly, but at least you are following my lesson. So state with a reason a measure that best describes the central tendency for the data. Okay, let's try. Type your answer, please, in the comment box. Oh, come on, please help me. Is it a must to label the number? There's a question here. Boleh. You can label with Q1, Q2. But it doesn't matter. At least you state what is your Q1, your Q2. Okay, Chan, Wow, How? It must be labeled. Tak kisahlah whether you label it with Q1, Q2 or you label it with values. Okay? Okay, what's the answer for my pop quiz? Alright, I know that my students are here. I have Ko Wenkang is here, Woon Ling is here, YC is here. Answer me YC. Woon Ling is here. Answer me Woon Ling. Okay. What's that ITQ? What is ITQ means? What is ITQ? Interquartile, is it? Central tendency. We are talking about central tendency. Measures of location. Bukannya dispersion. We are talking about measures of location. Bukannya dispersion. Yes, betul. I have one correct answer. Is median. Okay. Im in spirit. Well done. Im in spirit is median. Why? It's just that. Why? Yeah, the measures of central tendency is mode, mean, and median. But for this distribution, okay, since it is skewed, so median is the best measurement of central tendency. Okay, median is the best measurement of central tendency. Oh, well done, Zainariah. There's a okay median. But you must state a reason. The reason is that median in distribution is skewed. Okay. I think can we stop now for the advertisement? You can take a rest for a while.
Semua sekolah ditutup hingga cuti akhir tahun 17 Disember 2020. Anda tak cukup bahan? Tak ada rujukan? Tak faham? Anda nak tuition tapi PKP? Jangan risau, kami di Akademi YouTuber dengan kerjasama Kelab Guru Malaysia dan e-Didik Malaysia mengadakan kelas tuisyen online. Semua peringkat ada, semuanya secara percuma. Video PDPC pun ada. Apa ditunggu lagi? Layari www.academyyoutuber.com. Dibawakan kepada anda oleh Akademi YouTuber.
Okay, let's begin. Okay, we have stopped here just now on about box plot. Okay, another pop quiz. Concerning box plot too. Okay, based on this box plot, okay, can you state the type of distribution? Again, this is just one word answer. Dia kata just state. So kalau state, if the question says states, you don't have to give any reason. You want to give reason, it's all right. Yes, there's a one more question here. Is the outlier must be labeled in the graph? No need. You only just cross it. You just plot it. But if you want to label, there's not. It's allowed. It's optional. You can label or you can label or you don't want to label, but it's okay. Okay. It's not necessary to label the outlier. Okay. Okay. Next, pop quiz cepat. First, box plot. Okay, sebab saya tak bagi tadi ya. I should have given you the tips. Okay, can I just go back first? Okay, ada some answer here. The first box plot is skewed to the left. Okay, good, Shafiq. Right. It's skewed to the left. Okay, the second box plot. So what about the second box plot? The second box plot is skewed to, yeah, second box plot. Okay, it seems that ramai betul answer. Im answered negative skewed for the second box plot. Okay, good. Is it? Oh, sorry. Negative skewed. Im for the first, I think. Saya yang lambat. I'm sorry. I'm the one who's slow in reading the general comments. The third one, wow, Shafiq is answering more than jumping the question. Okay. Im answered for the second is positive skewed. Okay, good. The second is positive skewed. Right. Let me explain first for the first box plot. It's skewed to the left because if you notice that, okay, the left part of the box, okay, the left part of the box is bigger. So it's skewed to the left. Itu je. And then, or you can use the quartiles value. The third quartile minus the second quartile is less than the second quartile minus the first quartile. Okay, right. The second one just now, most of you managed to get answer correctly, skewed to the right. So how do you identify skewed to the right? By looking at the box again. Okay, notice that the right part of the box is bigger. So it's right skewed. Or you can use the quartiles value. Q3 minus Q2 is greater than Q2 minus Q1. Okay, core for the third answer, core is saying third is symmetrical. That's right, because the size of the left part of the box and the right part are the same. Okay, the size, the width of the box are of the same size. Okay, we have Chan Wang Hao here. Have answered all the answer correctly. Okay, well done. So hopefully you know why it's skewed to the left, skewed to the right. Symmetrical, you can use the values. Q3 minus Q2 is the same as Q2 minus Q1. So from box plot, you can also identify the shape of distribution. Okay, From histogram, you can identify the shape or distribution. From box plot, you can identify the shape of distribution. Sorry, I think I pressed my cursor. Okay, number 4. This time, we have histogram. Okay, and look at the distribution, the frequency table given. Notice that it's a cumulative frequency table. It's not a frequency table. So you have the cumulative frequency given, and you have the upper boundaries of the class interval given. Okay, so for data description, you must also be able to read the table. Okay, so again, state the median class. State meaning that you don't have to give your reason. Construct a histogram for the data. Use your histogram to describe the shape of the distribution, and you can use the histogram to estimate the mode. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the cumulative frequency table. Okay, so from here, we have to decide, or we have to determine where the median lies. So the median is the average of the frequency, which is the 125th value. So the 125th values lies in this class interval. Okay, okay. So it's between 60 to 70. So the median class is, you can state either 60-70, or the proper way of writing is X lies between 60 less than equal 70. Okay, because the upper boundary is less than equal 70. Now, before we can construct the histogram, we have to look at the class size. Okay, so notice that the 4th and 5th class interval is of size 10. Hence, the histogram that you're going to draw or construct is histogram with unequal class size. Since this is unequal class size, so you have to find the frequency density. So to get the frequency density, you have to get the frequency first. So Muhammad Shafiq, you are right, obtain the frequency first. Okay, you have to obtain the frequency first. Okay, so hopefully you still remember how to get the frequency. Okay, the first one is just 15. The second one, second class interval, 40 minus 15. 85 minus 40. 147 minus 85. 62. 196 minus 147, we have 49. And lastly, the last class interval, 250 minus 196, we have 54. And to get the frequency density, the formula is just frequency divided by the class size. Okay, so 15 divided by 20, 0.75. 25 divided by 20, 1.25. 45 divided by 20, 2.25. Okay, 62 divided by 10, 6.2. 49 divided by 10, 4.9. And 54 divided by 20, 2.70. Okay, so once you have the frequency density, okay, before you need to construct the histogram, okay, here are some notes on the properties of histogram. Okay, since time does not permit me to explain one by one, you can always refer to my playlist. There's a video on properties of histogram. So you go to my playlist and see the video properties of histogram. So let's look. The x-axis represents the amount of money spent in RM. Again, like I stated earlier, Make sure the x-axis is labeled. Okay, most students tend to leave this out. When you leave this out, you lose 1 mark. Okay, just imagine 1 mark is a great, is a lot. It's just a border between getting distinction A or A minus, yeah. Okay, and these are the values. We use the upper boundaries, the boundaries of the class intervals. The y-axis represents the frequency density. So it's labeled from 0 to 6.5. Okay, because on my slide, PowerPoint is quite limited, the space. So my scale is quite small. But students, you are given free graph papers. So do not cram your histogram. Make sure your histogram is at least half of the page of the graph paper. Jangan too small or too large, okay? Make sure it's just nice. At least half of the graph paper, okay? So now, let us draw the bars. Okay, this is histogram. The bars are, there's no gap in between the bars. So the first bar is for the first class interval. The height of the bar is 0.75. The second bar is for the second class interval, and the height of the bar is 1.25. Okay, and the third bar represents the third class interval. The height is 2.25. Okay, the fourth bar. Okay, notice the difference of the class size. The fourth bar is of size 10. So the class intervals are from 60 to 70, and the height is 6.20. Okay, and the fifth is of size 10. The height is 4.9. And lastly, the last class interval, 2.70. So this clearly shows the shape of histogram with unequal class size. Okay, take note, students. For unequal class size, we use frequency density. Is easier to construct. Okay, now we can answer the question from the histogram. Okay, from the histogram, can you describe the shape of the distribution? Okay, from the histogram, can you describe the shape of the distribution? Notice that, okay, the data, the values are more to the left. The data are more to the left. So the distribution is? Anybody would like to try? For histogram, okay, imagine there's a curve, frequency curve here. Okay. Yes, negative skewed. Chan, why? How? Congrats. Okay, well done, Chan. Yes, Muhammad Shafiq is skewed to the left. So distribution is skewed to the left. Okay, for histogram, okay, to identify the shapes of the histogram, sorry, the shape of the distribution. Okay, if most of the data are on the left side of the histogram and fewer larger values on the right, so the data are said to be skewed to the right. Like I said, I explain again, if most of the data are on the left side and fewer larger values on the right, the data are said to be skewed on the right. So, but if most of the data are on the right, here the most on the data are on the right, sorry, just now I think I've said wrongly just now. If most of the data are on the right, okay, with fewer smaller values on the left, okay, so the data are skewed to the left, okay, Chan. Okay, Wunling betul, negatively skewed distribution. So if data are symmetric, they have about the same shape on either side of the histogram. In other words, if we fold the histogram into two, it looks about the same on both sides. Okay, so this is how we identify the shape of distribution using histogram. Okay, now we forget to answer one more question, that is find the mode, estimate the modes. Okay, so to estimate the mode using histogram, we look at the tallest bar in the histogram because the tallest bar is the model class. So the model class contains the mode. So all we need to do is draw diagonal lines, 2 diagonal lines. The first line, the line joins the upper boundary of the class before the class mode and the upper boundary of the mode class, okay? The next diagonal line, the lower boundary of the model class joins with the lower boundary of the class after it. Okay, see where it intersects, okay? The point of intersection gives you the value of mode. Estimation, okay? We just estimate. Here, mode is 67. So, mode is RM67. Okay, make sure you write down the unit RM because in Form 6, we are very sensitive to the units used, okay? So, we don't exactly look at values, we look at the units too. So, this is RM67, okay? The amount spent, mode is RM67. Okay, for Mathematics M students, we can use the histogram to find the quartiles too, okay? So, I already explained in class, so since time does not permit, so I think I only stop here for the, for the Mathematics T students, okay? Right, right. Next. So I already mentioned how to identify the shape or distribution using histogram. So there's a pop quiz again. Okay, I'm wondering if we should draw the table of, okay. Right. Yes, you can answer all your working. You can put all your working on one graph paper if there are enough space. Okay, Tiba, if there's enough space, yes, you can draw the table on the right top corner. Yes, but if you find that there isn't much space, you can write the table on the A4 paper, but make sure your histogram, the graph paper, and the A4 paper is just what do you call it? You tak boleh separatekan, okay? It must come together. Because most students, what they do is when they arrange the question, the table comes first and the graph paper right at the end. So jangan buat macam tu. This is not pengajian am, ya. This is mathematics. So we place the graph paper just after the A4 paper, okay? Hopefully I have answered you, Tiba. Okay. Thank you, Chan. You saved my time. Okay, you have answered the shape of the distribution using histogram. Okay, the first histogram is positively skewed. Okay, why? Because most of the values are on the left of the histogram and the larger values are a few on the right side. On the right side, so it's skewed to the right. But you can look at the values of mode, median, mean. Okay, you can look at the values of mode, median, mean. Because skewed to the right, mean minus mode is positive, right? Because the mean is on the right of mode. That's how I memorize. The mean is on the right of mode, so it's skewed to the right. For B, is symmetrical. Why? The values of mean, median, mode lies on the center of the histogram. Or notice that when you divide into half, the histogram, the shape are mostly alike. Okay, if you fold it, they fall into each other. And for C, is skewed to the left because most of the bigger values lies to the left of the histogram and the smaller values to the right of the histogram. But always look at the values. Okay, the mean is less than the mode. The mean is on the left of the mode, so it's skewed to the left. Okay, well done for those who have answered correctly. Thank you, Wu Ling. Okay, next. Okay, now Again, okay, this is just roughly because we are running out of time. By looking at the values of mean, median, mode, okay, we can decide that distribution A is symmetrical because the values are the same. Distribution B is positively skewed because the mean is greater than the median, greater than the mode. And distribution C is negatively skewed. Why? Because the mean is less than the median, than the mode. Okay, it seems that, right. For question 5, what I would like to state here, please expect the unexpected. Because question 5 is normally asked in form 5. And some students, when the question is very easy, they forgot how to answer. Okay, so this is on cumulative frequency curve, which is normally asked in form 5. Okay, so just let me show you just the solution because we are running out of time. Okay, we have to find the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency curve. Okay, plot the x-axis. Remember, must state the telephone, the label the axis, plot the points, draw a smooth line that join the points. And sometimes, and then find the number of household, 57, which, I mean, for 100 ringgit charge, there's 57, more than 100 ringgit, there's 13 of them. So find the percentage, 13 out of 70, we have 18.57, okay? So, okay. And number 6, this is asked recently, just asking how to use the formula of mean for ungrouped data. See how simple it is. Okay, so do not be shocked if you are given simple question. Expect the unexpected. Okay, and also here we have the variance of ungrouped data. So how lucky if you are given such a simple question. But I'm worried when the simple question students tend to make careless mistake. Okay. Okay, then, but make sure you answer based on the instruction. But the last line here, A greater than B. So, okay, A is 12, B is 6. Okay, next. Conclusion. So for data description, you must be familiar with the measures of location, mean, median, and mode. So make sure you know all the formulas for group and ungrouped data. And then we have the measures of dispersion that measures the spread of the data. We have range, we have quartiles, interquartiles or semi-interquartiles, variance and standard deviation. Okay, and we have the representation of data. Okay, we have the stem and leaf diagram, the histogram, the cumulative frequency curve, and box and whisker plot. Okay, if you notice, I have not mentioned anything about stem and leaf diagram because we have done this earlier in our previous online class. Okay, so notice that for all the representation of data, there will be shape of distribution. And here I already summarized. Okay, the shape of distribution you can identify using box plot. Okay, the values of the quartiles, the shape of the curve, the height of the histogram, the shape of the histogram, and the values of mode, median, mean. Oh yes, I feel okay. Yes, for cumulative frequency curve, you must always begin with 0. Okay, now, the y-axis must always begin with 0. The cumulative frequency is always start with 0. But the x-axis, you can shorten it. You can always start from not necessarily 0. Yeah, tak semestinya 0. Okay, jap. Mana tadi? Okay, here. The values of y must always be 0. Okay, the values of y must always be 0, but your x-axis can be shortened. You can start with 50, okay, meaning that here the class size must be even. If you don't put 50 here, you have uneven class interval, so 0 marks. So you have to put 50. Or if you want to put 0 boleh, you can do that. But make sure you put the zigzag sign to show that you have shortened your x-axis, okay? You can put the zigzag sign here, meaning that you have shortened your x-axis. And you put 0, not necessarily put 50, okay? But you can start with 50 too. But the most important thing is that you must start with 0 for the y-axis. Okay, thank you, Chan, for highlighting. Okay. So, yeah. So I think that's about I forgot to mention on Pearson. Okay. So we have reached the end of our lesson. So this is the summary of today's lesson, how to identify shape of a distribution from box plot, from the values of quartiles, from the histogram, from the frequency curve, from the values of mode, median, mean. And do not forget on Pearson coefficient of skewness. Okay, so we have reached the end of our lesson. It's already 6 o'clock. So I've yet to give you the link, but before that, can you all please stop posting any comment, okay, and take some time to press subscribe, okay, press subscribe. And I would like to congrats to all the students who have managed to follow my session from the beginning till the end, okay. And then if you find that this lesson is beneficial, just click like and share to your friends on your social media. Spread and share the goodness. Once completed, can you please type done in the comment place? Once you completed subscribe my channel, can you please type done so that I can give you the certificate link? Okay, this certificate link is to show my gratitude to all of you for joining me today, for keeping me occupied today. I'm honored for those who have managed to join today's lesson. The link is given in the comment, and this is the access code, okay, hashtag class IUEDD. Okay, please take note, the link will end half an hour after this live. Make sure to use the EDD email only, okay? Incorrect email use will not be entertained. I'm so sorry to say this, okay? If you haven't got one, okay, you can apply. Okay, if you want the link, let me give you the link. So you can apply. You can apply the email using the link given on the comment space, okay, on the chat box. Okay, if you wish to get more information on the free online classes, go to www.academyyoutuber.com. And to those who haven't joined EDD Junior Telegram, please do so. So once again, I would like to thank all of the students for joining me today. You are very wonderful and awesome. Okay, and some of the names are I'm already familiar. Okay, Muhammad Shafiq, Chan, wow, okay, Chan. Okay, there's Nur Amira. Yeah, Nur Amira is always with us every week without fail. And feel free to share this free tuition class to your friends and teachers all over Malaysia. This is a collective effort from all the teachers throughout Malaysia and for all the students, students throughout the country. So thank you to all the YouTuber economy supporters out there. I know some of you, most of you are the YouTuber economy supporters. Please do pray for our strength and our enthusiasm. So I think that's about all for now. See you in another session. Ingat hashtag bermula percuma, selamanya percuma, dan everything good, beneficial in this session comes from Allah SWT, the Almighty, and if any weaknesses comes from me. Okay, I do apologize if I make any mistakes just now. So, Assalamualaikum, stay safe till we meet again next week, same day, same time, Saturday at 5. Bye-bye.
Tuisyen online percuma. Tuisyen online percuma. Layari www.academyyoutuber bagi mengikuti tuisyen online secara percuma. Prasekolah, sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah, semua ada di Akademi YouTuber. Rujuk jadual di laman sesawang www.academyyoutuber.com. Semoga masa terluang anak-anak anda diisi dengan sebaiknya. Tuisyen online percuma mestilah Akademi YouTuber.
Dibawakan kepada anda oleh Akademi YouTuber.